Welcome to 2011. My name is David DeWitt Taylor, and my friends are.
My name is Aaron Connie Castle.
Hello everyone, Happy New Year. My name is Ryan Nicholas Gray. David, would you please introduce
This year, 2011, we got a new show for you folks. Community Club is welcome a new guest, Castine, a staff member from the Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority, who is engaged full-time in work to seek supports for those with mental illness, as well as those with disabilities. She is a strong advocate for those with those needs, and her own example sets a high standard for all people to receive respect and appreciation. We are looking forward to learn from Jackie and extend a warm welcome to her.
Welcome, Jack.
Thank you.
Jackie.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Welcome.
Jackie, please tell us a little about your background.
Well, my background is that I'm a happy, healthy 71-year-old person working in the mental health field. And I have graduated from Oakland University, but I went to Wayne University. I have a twin. I have 2 daughters who live out in New Hampshire. And I've had a lot of different jobs in my life. I started as a junior high school English teacher. I left that to go to work for the 3M company where I was in sales. And then after I was diagnosed with mental illness and received services from Community Mental Health, they decided to hire me. They decided that as a writer and a salesperson and as a published speaker that I could work for them.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Orion?
Yes. Tell us about your career.
This career, you know, I've had these other careers and I've always been a workaholic, so I loved my job, whether I was teaching or selling or training or writing books. But this job was a God job because I was so sick when I had my first mental illness breakdown when I was 57. It's kind of late in life. But, you know, with the help that I got from Community Mental Health, the medication, the therapy, I got back into being able to work. So I'm the education specialist and I get an opportunity to speak and write, and I love it.
Cool.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well, Jackie, tell us about some of your volunteering experiences.
Oh my goodness. Well, at one time, because of the work that I do, I was invited to be on some boards of directors. And one of them was the South Oakland Citizens for the Homeless. I'm still with that group. The Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance. I was their secretary. Mental Illness Research Association. They raise money for people with to do research. And the other one was OCAP. So that was a big thing. And then I have been writing a column for my church paper.
Please tell us some of your personal challenges in life.
Well, you know, that is a very sensitive question for me because we've had mental illness in the family and also alcoholism, and those we know are things that sometimes are inherited. But I lost my son to suicide 3 years ago, and he was not such a young man. He was 46, but he'd had a lifetime. Started from the very first year that we had him of great emotional difficulties, hyperactivity, difficulty controlling himself, learning disabilities. But he was smart and bright, and he went on to have quite a life. But he continued to get involved with drugs, and in the end, he decided that he couldn't really live with a mental illness anymore, and he chose to take his own life. And that was the biggest challenge that I hope I'll ever have to face in my life.
I'm sorry.
We are very sorry for your loss, Jackie. Very sorry.
Of course.
Thank you.
What challenges did you have that changed your life?
Well, certainly my psychosis with my mental illness at 57 put me in a position where I was not only very ill, I wasn't with reality, and that sort of illness is now in the headlines today from another individual. The damage that I did was mostly to myself. I was in a ministry in the inner city, and I gave away all my money, all of my retirement money to that person. So I was very sick. I had no money. I was very ashamed of the debt that I couldn't pay. And I thought about taking my own life, actually. But then I thought about my grandchildren. So I decided that I was going to leave it up to God. My faith grew. My family loved me up. And I have had a wonderful success story with 13 years of a great career.
You made the right choice by you made the right choice by not taking your life.
Thank you, Aaron. I agree. I think I'm too tough, really.
Exactly. You're too tough for that.
Yeah, even their own life. I mean, that's quite wrong. You shouldn't do that. Now, Jackie, how did you find possible solutions for your challenges?
Well, first of all, my faith in God. I think, and I had also had many years of experience in 12-step program. And I think the 12-step program is kind of a blueprint for living. I think a sense of purpose is important. I think thinking of other people is important. And I was just very fortunate to have the right attitude. And I had a lot of successes in my life. So I had a positive attitude.
There you go. You think positively.
Oh, sorry, guys. To what do you attribute your progress?
Ah, what a great question. 3 things. The right kind of medicine. If the chemistry isn't right for the pharmaceutical medication that I take, and I've had lots of different kinds of medication, and if it's not right, I'm not right. And so I've just come through a tough time with depression, and I've just had a wonderful right combination, just kick right in, and I feel like a new woman. That's number 1. Number 2 is therapy. Talking to people about the issues, how to live with a disability when you don't look like you have a disability and when you don't act like you have a disability because it's going on in your head. And I think a support group, peers, other people who have the same difficulty. So I think that's the triple crown for recovery from any kind of disability.
Whoa.
Wow.
Blow me down.
Blow you down?
Yeah.
I think it's the word wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you have any mental needs and solutions?
Was the question, did I have mental needs and solutions?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think that I needed a medical doctor, I needed a therapist, and I needed the love of my family. I needed the hope that God gave me, and fortunately, all of them are in my life.
Jackie, what is your work at the Oakland County Community Mental Health Authority?
Oh my goodness, I have so many things going on, so many balls in the air. One of the things that we're really focusing on this year is reaching senior citizens who don't really know a lot maybe about mental health because they're not of the generation where this was being discussed. It was too much stigma, sweep it under the rug. So in order to educate them, we decided to develop a game, and it's called Mental Health Bingo. And I make arrangements to go to retirement homes and senior centers, and we play mental health bingo and give away prizes, and I get to tell my story, and it's lots of fun. That's one thing. I do a lot of public speaking. I do a lot of writing, and lots of other stuff. Traveling art show, library work. I like it.
I recall you were on the Oakland County Ability to Vote Committee last year, 2008.
Oh my goodness, yes. We had an initiative to encourage people with disabilities to vote, and we were happy to have you on that committee, all three of you.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks. Tell us a little about your various jobs.
About my various jobs?
Yeah.
Well, we've just sort of talked about community education specialist, but I think I wanted to talk a little bit about my 10 years as a salesperson. I learned how to interact with people and to set goals and sort of encourage people to get over to my way of thinking about things. The most exciting thing about that job was that I introduced that fabulous product, Post-it notes, to the office supply industry. And everybody knows what they are now, but when we first came out with them in 1980, nobody knew anything.
Anything?
Yeah. And I loved teaching. And I still do a lot of teaching.
Do you speak to groups and on what topics?
Speak to lots of groups on lots of topics, but the big topic is called living with bipolar disorder. For those who have the disorder and those who are in the family. I think primarily my audience is families, and that's because of my experience with two children who had bipolar disorder and also had addictive issues. But I've been, from time to time, I teach a class called Mental Health Resources for Recovery, and we give social workers lots of different support groups and ways to get information to help their clients. I teach a class called So You Want to Write and Publish Your Own Book, and that has to do with my experience in publishing and writing. And I do another class called When Caring Becomes a Burden, and that has to do with social workers and what we call compassion fatigue, how to set boundaries, how not to enable people, but to allow individuals with disabilities to have their own independence.
All right.
Okay, please tell us about the books you have written, please.
Well, the first book I wrote was in 1982, and it was called The Educator's Job Change Manual. And I wrote that in response to teachers getting laid off, and I had gone from teaching to corporate sales, and my phone was ringing, lots of people saying, well, I want to know how you got that job. That was number one. Number two was a book called Recovery from Rescuing, and that was a book about codependency, how to live with someone who has maybe an addiction problem without trying to save them, because if you continually try to save them, they never get the consequences. And the last one, the one that's out on my website, can be ordered on the website, is called I Wish I Could Fix It But, Practical and Spiritual Guidance for Those Who Love, Live With, and Care About People with Mental Illness and Addictions. And it's got a lot of different testimonies in it from other people who have made mistakes and corrected them in terms of how to handle these relationships.
Cool.
Tell us about your writing.
Well, you know, my favorite story about writing is that it's really hard work. you know, I have a synonym dictionary. I like that a lot. And I think that there's a talent for it, you know, that people are born with a talent, but I also think that they can develop that. A lot of it is through reading.
What type of business do you have?
I have two businesses. I have the work that I do for the county, where I'm the community education specialist. That's my main job. But I own a publishing company. And I started that so that I could, if I wanted to, self-publish my books. But I've also had a book published by another publishing company. That means that they fronted up the money. This one is self-published. And I sometimes speak, not so much from the community, but other places.
Okay. All right.
Jackie, what is your role as an advocate?
Well, I think the best example is what has happened and as we are filming this, the country is in a huge uproar because of the attempted killing and death of all of these people in Tucson by a young man who obviously was mentally unstable but had not gotten treatment. So as an advocate, I felt compelled to pull out some of my own writing and wrote an editorial which says basically, as terrible as all of that was, it is an opportunity for people in this country to wake up and see that these terrible crimes that are taking place are often people that are not treated for a medical issue. And these are medical problems, and we need to start putting some money and writing a check to mental health organizations so that these problems can be solved.
Are you involved in local and state work?
My only involvement right now with the state is I am with my manager, Vicki Suter. You all know her.
Yeah.
For, I would say 8 or 9 years, we've been going to Lansing every month because we are the Oakland County designees for the public relations work group at the state level. And we help other people put together all kinds of different things that will decrease stigma, add information, give us consistent language around the state. And we've made many friends with other people at community mental health that do what we do. So we like to have their input and we share our good stuff with them.
How does one promote issues on mental health?
Well, I think certainly for me, because I'm a communicator, professional communicator, writing, going out and speaking, but you can't, I mean, sometimes you just have to pick up the phone and say, do you have a speaker? Do you have a speaker? Do you want a speaker? That kind of thing. I think the best way to promote mental health is for those of us who've had a mental health condition to speak up and say, put the face to the illness and say, I have had this and there's nothing to be frightened about. You know?
Okay.
So it's putting the face to the name and getting rid of all of the myths and shadows around what people think about mental illness.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Jackie, how have you had a daily plan for success this year?
A daily plan for success? Is
Yeah.
that what you're asking
Yes.
me? Oh my goodness. When I saw that question, I said, I am a list maker, Ryan. I
Lot of
have
lists.
lists and lists. Yes, I'm very organized.
You make lists?
me.
It's a good thing I live alone.
That's good.
I have a list every morning, and it has the personal list, which is exercise, you know, eat right, pick up the cleaning and the prescriptions. And then I have about 3 lists at work. Short-term list, long-term list, and that's how I stay organized.
Lists?
Yeah, write it down. That's my deal.
That helps. That helps.
Yeah.
Okay, my last 2 questions. are you uh, are you available to counsel those with mental challenges, and how?
Am I available to counsel those with mental challenges, and how? And how? It's not really part of my job, and I don't have a clinical background, but I must confess to you that the kind of knowledge that I've accumulated for such a long time, I speak to people all the time, but especially to family members who are very concerned about their loved ones who refuse to seek help. That's the area in which I can be the most effective.
Do you have any advice for those with challenges like me and my two friends?
Yes, well, I think that you're role models already of a positive attitude, of striving for just another level of being out there. It reminds me, this morning when I was at the gym, I was working with 10-pound weights.
Oh, 10-pound weights?
You know, 2 months ago, 5-pound weights. And that's the way I see you too. So I think that having goals is really important. Having a support system, you've got it, I've got it.
My final question, Jackie, before I even closing this, Jackie, is please tell us a success story.
Oh, a success story. Let's see. Well, I think I have a very dear friend who tried and tried so many different kinds of medications and was getting very discouraged. But eventually she gathered up her courage to try ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. That's a very bold thing to do, but it really worked for her. And she is now back having a happy, reasonable, productive life at work as a translator, and also being able to take care of her children. That's the success story.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Hey guys, we're getting close to 3 minutes. I see you get our fun stuff.
Yep.
Now, Jackie, tell me the truth, and you'll learn to lie. What is your favorite restaurant in the entire world? Come on, Jackie. You should know. You should know this.
Your favorite restaurant, he's trying to say.
I like the Rochester Chop House
That's a good place to go.
and Lily's.
Lily's.
Mine is Red Lobster, Taco Bell, Raymond Dave's, Pizza Hut, everything.
Everything?
Hey guys, when I was a kid, I was allergic to anything except for Chinese, which I love today.
Okay.
Me, I like Mr. B's. I like Chili's. I like anything fast. Anything I like is good.
Like it fast.
Aaron,
Aaron?
what do you?
I like Mr. B's.
There you go.
I like Mr. B's. Times Square Pizza. I like Buddy's Pizza. I like Pizza Hut. I like Dave and Buster's. I like Game Walks.
And we get our favorite stuff,
What?
B-dubs.
Oh, baby,
Oh,
threes.
3W.
Baby, threes.
Oh, BW3s. You can't forget that.
That's one place. Hey, Jackie.
I want your listeners to know that on my website, www.jacquelineCastine.com, there is a recipe that I made up. It's called Sanders Showstopper Ice Cream Dessert. And if you plug in to that website, you'll be able to order a copy of the book and get this absolutely fabulous mouth-warming,
Mouth-watering.
recipe.
I must-
made with
that's a-
Michigan ingredients.
I believe it made Jackie hungry.
The only thing I'm
Jackie,
opposed.
I know that people have been busting me
I
on
think it
water
made you
lately.
hungry.
I went water level or pop level.
One more time.
I went water level water. Drinking.
Wider level, what?
Water.
Water.
W-A-T-E-R.
Yeah.
I went a water level or a pop level.
Oh, you mean which do I prefer?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a water drinker.
Water drinking?
No pop for me.
You seem shocked.
I'm shocked too.
Okay,
I want to tell this one more time.
what?
Jackie, seriously.
She just answered you. Okay, I got one. Do you like the three? Do you like the Three Stooges?
Do I like the Three Stooges? Not really.
Not really.
I like the pies.
I have to close it because we're almost out of time.
Oh, over here we are crazy about the Three Stooges.
Are ya?
Yeah,
Oh, lots of people are.
We get to know them.
exactly.
Thank you for being us today, Jackie. You have shared lots of personal information with us and told us how you have dedicated to being a path of regaining your skills and your life, so helping to ourselves and others, and helping others, in turn helping others. It's inspirational, and we appreciate you coming here today and joining us. I'm Ryan Nicholas Ray.
My name is Aaron Connie Castle.
I'm DeWitt Taylor. Make sure you watch all our shows on our website page. And enjoy 2011.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
See ya.